Okay, so this is a video I posted 3 years ago about realtor compensation, and at the time nobody cared about it. But since then there's been a massive lawsuit, and all these people are acting like they didn't know how realtors got paid, and they didn't know this video was out here to teach them how realtors get paid. So let's watch this video of me, cute Natalie, 3 years ago with the cute short hair, and hear what she has to say, and then we'll talk about the things that are the same and different from this time. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Natalie Bratton with the Bratton Real Estate Group at RE/MAX First in Oklahoma City. And today I'm going to talk to you about how realtors get paid. But first, if you are one of my viewers that comes back every week and watches my videos and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Please let me know that you're out there and that you're enjoying my videos and learning a lot about Oklahoma and real estate. And for those of you this is your first time watching, know that every Friday I post a video about living in Oklahoma and about real estate. So let's get started. How do realtors get paid? You don't want to ask how much money, when do you have to pay me? I know it's not a dinner table question where when I'm out with my friends, we don't discuss salaries. So it's not really something where you just ask, hey Natalie, when do I pay you and how much is it? So let me go ahead and help you know what you're getting into so that when you start a relationship with a realtor, you know what to expect. So generally, realtors are paid commission only, and we don't get paid unless the home sale closes. And nearly every time, the seller is who pays the compensation. So in a typical real estate transaction, a home seller chooses their realtor and they sign documents with an agreed upon compensation percentage. That percentage is not set in stone by the state or any organization or company. It is a movable amount. There's usually like an average or a typical standard, but it's not set in stone. So not all realtors charge the same amount, but it is the seller who pays the compensation. First of all, if people had watched this video 3 years ago, the crazy lawsuit would have never happened, because I highlighted all the important details in that 3 minutes right there. I said all the things that were the disputed stuff in the lawsuit. So first of all, people should have watched that video 3 years ago and the world would have been a better place. Okay, let me go on to say all of that is still very true, and that realtor compensation is mostly paid by the seller, and it's still probably going to be mostly paid by the seller. But that's the area where it's going to be slightly different. So let's listen to what she has to say, and then I'll go into more of the differences. Therefore, as the realtor, if I list your home for sale, and then I also have the buyer for your home, then my office gets the entire compensation. Don't assume that if you're the buyer and you come directly to the listing agent, that they're going to give the sellers a discount because they're the only realtor in the transaction. Some people assume that that is a general practice, and it is not the case. Some realtors do, some don't. It is something that the seller and the realtor, they agree upon before the transaction even starts. Now, if you are the home buyer and you come and you have a different realtor, and therefore there's 2 realtors involved in the transaction, then the sellers still pay all the compensation and it's split between the 2 companies. So yes, sellers typically pay the realtor compensation. As a buyer, you get to have representation in the purchase of your home without paying the realtor fees. Now, what you should know is there is something called a transaction fee that many offices charge, and it's an admin fee for processing paperwork, paying different business fees that are related to the transaction. And that fee could be anywhere from $100 to $400. It just depends on the office and what they are charging. So be sure that as a home buyer and seller that you know what the transaction fee is for the realtor you hired. Okay, so yes, traditionally what happened is the seller pays a lump sum compensation, and if I have the buyer and the seller, I get the whole thing. If there's another realtor, we split it between the two companies. That is still going to be an option. That's still the case for probably most transactions, but the seller is not required to offer buyer brokerage compensation. So while most of the time we're going to have seller compensation paid, we are not always going to have it, and it's not assumed that it's there. It needs to be written into every offer, and there is always the possibility that you as a buyer, you may get in without having to pay brokerage compensation. You may pay some of the brokerage compensation, or you may pay all of it. It's just all negotiable, and it needs to be written in an offer if you want the seller to pay your compensation. Let's go on and hear what this brilliant woman has to say moving forward. For sale by owner, if you are buying a home and you are interested in purchasing a home that's listed for sale by owner, who pays the realtor fees? Excellent question. So most of the time, a seller with a for sale by owner will pay the realtor fees. It's something that you negotiate in with the offer. Like, will you pay 3% of the sales price to me as their realtor for bringing the buyer and handling the transaction till closing? Generally they say yes, but it can be negotiable. Sometimes they say no, and in that case, you, the buyer, would pay the compensation. Sometimes they'll split it with you, and sometimes they'll pay a certain amount and then you pay the rest. So it's a negotiable amount that you take up with your realtor and with the seller. Okay, so the for sale by owner that we've always done is very similar to what we're doing now. We just put it in the offer. If you are a buyer and you want the seller to pay the brokerage compensation, you write it in your offer. And there's always a chance that they will pay it, and there's a chance that they won't, and they may pay part of it. And it's just part of your offers now. And know that you're never going to be surprised at closing on whether or not you're paying it, because we give you estimates of expenses and we tell you. So you're going to know if you have to pay it or not. Okay, so let's go on. How do I get paid if you are buying a brand new house? If you do a custom build, or you go to a builder and you buy new construction? Well, generally it's the same scenario. Generally the seller, the builder, pays the compensation. Most builders are happy to pay it and want to have good relationships with realtors in the community. So it is perfectly great and acceptable to tell your realtor that you want to look at a certain builder, or that you want to custom build a home, and then let that realtor do the work for you. Don't assume, again, that if you go to a builder and you buy a house without a realtor, that you're getting a better deal. That's not true. The price of the home is not going to change and get lower because you didn't bring a realtor. Basically, paying realtors is just the cost of doing business for them. They already expect to do it, but they're not going to drop their sales price just because you come without a realtor. So to wrap it all up, most of the time sellers pay the realtor fees, but you may be expected to pay some because it is somewhat negotiable depending on what kind of transaction you're in. If you're hiring a realtor, be sure you know what you're getting for your money, that you know what services they are going to provide for you. And then be sure and interview your realtor, make sure you know them, make sure that they are going to take care of you and you're getting your money's worth. That's how realtors get paid. I hope that helps. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Come back next Friday where I will talk more about living in Oklahoma and real estate. She's brilliant and she's correct. Everything is negotiable. Everything must be in writing. Know who you're hiring, and it'll all work out just fine. And hey, the Great State Fair of Oklahoma is coming up. Hopefully I can go and get some good shots next week. I'm hoping to show you some of the fair, some of the best vendors, some of the best food. So come back next time and let's talk fair.